For some levity, I thought we would listen to Rosie O'Donnell talk publicly about conversations she has with her therapist on Nicolle Wallace's podcast, which I believe hilariously is called The Best People. You can't make this stuff up. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
He has a cult-like control thanks to Mark Burnett's Apprentice show that lied to the American people.
Oh, now it's Mark Burnett's
sold
fault.
Fiction as fact, and people were confused and lied to,
it's
and then they listened
TV.
to Fox News, and they were more lost. So when people say, I changed my mind, we have to say, welcome back to reality. And when the Medicaid cuts go in, old people are going to start to die. And if he's not stopped now, we have lost our country. And I don't know, Nicolle, how it is that some people cannot see it. My therapist said, why are you so upset? And I said to her, why are you not?
Yeah. Yeah, I have that conversation too, because the gaslighting that I think you're alluding to, if you're a thoughtful, informed person, you do stop and say, well, maybe it is me.
I mean, what a beautiful moment of self-awareness, this glimmer of self-awareness from Nicolle Wallace. The gaslighting that I see in that clip is Nicolle Wallace having a podcast called, quote, The Best People. That is the ultimate form of gaslighting. You should, if you ever get a chance to talk to somebody who worked on the McCain-Palin campaign, ask them about Nicolle Wallace. Try to get some insights. Even people who aren't particularly fond of Sarah Palin to this day, about how Nicolle Wallace and Steve Schmidt treated Sarah Palin when they were working on the McCain campaign. The Best People. That is just a really perfect name for a podcast that features Rosie O'Donnell talking about conversations she has with her own therapist. And let's just pause on this, because Nicolle Wallace, there was her quote, if you're a thoughtful, informed person, you do stop and say, well, maybe it is me. Incredible. I couldn't have put those words in her mouth in a better way. But of course, it's not her. She believes it's everyone else, after she spent years at MSNBC cheering on lawfare, cheering on the Russia collusion hoax, as the former press secretary to the George W. Bush administration, after people who voted for Trump, of course, in many cases, were former Democrats who voted on an anti-war basis for Barack Obama, and then voted on an anti-war basis for Donald Trump because of what, quote, the best people did to their friends and family and their communities over the course of many, many years. You almost don't know what more to say, because this is a decade now of Trump coming in, exposing exactly why people like Nicolle Wallace should have no claim to the moral high ground. Rosie O'Donnell is a different question. I'd love to be a fly on her wall and on the wall in her therapy sessions, because I imagine the specter of Donald Trump haunts her psychologically, and not for. I don't necessarily blame her for being psychologically tormented by Donald Trump's stinging rebukes of Rosie O'Donnell over the years in very public formats. So she might actually have a good claim here to being upset that Donald Trump continues to be the president of the United States. But they're looking around and wondering, why don't people see what we see? Why don't people agree with us that the apocalypse is nigh? Well, because they've seen you do what they think is worse. They've seen you do what they think is worse. I feel this with Comey, too. I'm not saying this is a perfect reaction, but with Comey, the idea that we should have sympathy for James Comey and fear of Donald Trump's, this narrow question of Donald Trump's retribution, just lands on deaf ears with me. I'm concerned about the doom spiral of retribution that James Comey started. This particular indictment is one of the least concerning political retribution lawfare acts that over the last 10 years. Now, do I think it's great? No. But the fact is, James Comey there's a pretty good case to be made that James Comey, by first saying Hillary Clinton violated the law, then he wasn't going to charge her. And then, coming out and making the announcement he did late in the game about the Wiener laptop investigation to kind of cover his ass for what he did with Clinton earlier in 2016, and then getting so deeply involved in the Russia collusion hoax, allowing his deputies to get so deeply involved in the Russia colluding hoax, misleading the public, abusing his position and public resources to target a political opponent. A lot of people want to point the finger at Donald Trump for starting us down the doom spiral. I think there's a better case to be made that while they are both participants in the doom spiral, it came down to James Comey. And Nicolle Wallace and Rosie O'Donnell treated the guy and his ilk like Boy Scouts for the better part of the last decade in ways that they've yet to reckon with, because a lot of these claims about Russia collusion, that's a really good example, just have been proven false. A lot of the ways that they gaslit throughout the years about Russia collusion, COVID, all of that. So I think this is great for MS Now. I think this is great content for MS Now, creating carving out this new tunnel in the echo chamber of like never Trump world. I think this is actually really perfect. So congrats to them on a job well done. It's actually pretty hard to go to sleep after wrapping these shows at 11. You could probably imagine that's the case because live broadcasting gets your adrenaline going like basically nothing else. But I really mean this. Cozy Earth's bamboo sheets and bubble cuddle blanket make it much, much easier. I actually get excited to jump into bed even after the high of partying with our great guests like Mark Halperin, who keep making news on the show. So these bamboo sheets are next level, buttery soft, breathable, and they keep you cool all night. You sleep a few degrees cooler and wake up genuinely refreshed. And the bubble cuddle blanket, it is like a warm, luxurious hug. Midweight, plush faux fur, equal parts nap-worthy and stylish. There's a reason Cozy Earth offers a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. They know you'll fall in love, and you will. I'm telling you, I get so excited to go to sleep, even when I'm all amped up after the show. Visit CozyEarth.com. Use my code Emily for 20% off. That's CozyEarth.com, code Emily. And if you get a post-purchase survey, please let them know you heard about Cozy Earth from After Party with Emily Jashinsky, because home isn't just where you live, it's how you feel. Let's go home with Cozy Earth.